Hello and welcome to a very quick and absolutely non-sponsored product review. As you know, I recently got an Atari 2600 video game system and I've had a lot of fun with that thing, mainly due to the Harmony cartridge, which lets me put an micro SD card in and play all kinds of cool new homebrew games. But there are a few games, even new homebrew games, that won't accept the default joystick that comes with the Atari, but the classic paddle controllers. The Atari VCS or 2600 was the successor to the Atari Pong machine, which probably everybody knows. You can see it in the background, the game at least. Where you have like two paddles moving up and down for player 1 and player 2, and you play some kind of ping pong similar game. Getting those Atari controllers has become a bit difficult. Same goes for the joysticks, but the joysticks you can still buy from China for pretty cheap. And I've got some of those as well, and they work fine, but some games like Pong or Breakout and a bunch of others, they don't use the joystick at all. They require paddle controllers. So far I couldn't play them. So I looked online and tried to find an eBay auction where I could buy some paddle controllers, but they are actually pretty expensive. And I was wondering, maybe just maybe there's something similar to the Chinese clones of the CX40 joystick, and there is actually. I'm not sure where this is made. Doesn't say anything on the box, but there's a shop here in Germany which sends, I think, even international, and I think they make these things themselves, at least assemble all the components. This is called the ProPaddle 2, so there probably was a ProPaddle 1 before, I don't know. And yeah, as you can see, it comes in a nice box, but you can already see that it's sort of like manufactured instead of industrial style, because this here is a nice shiny printout on photo paper, and inside is a plain box. And in this box you get the pedal controllers. Nothing fuzzy here. It's no plastic encasing or anything. Good for the environment, I guess. Just these things, and yeah, they look quite nice. But it's definitely, I'm going to say this, it's definitely really a manufactured job, because the connector here, they had to improvise, I guess, a little bit and glue this together here. But it's sturdy enough, and I guess it could be repaired if necessary. So what I also didn't know is that the pedal controllers come in pairs, which does make sense if you think about Pong being a two-player game, and also for the fact that you only need 2 pins for each controller. One button, which is the same probably as the fire button on the joystick, and 1 pin for the analog input. So this feels actually really nice. This is a metal wheel here, like CNC machined or something, and the variable resistor under there feels really smooth. And I know from experience from the snack markets, etc., that those are actually not cheap. So buying these in volume, of course, you will get a rebate, but you can easily spend 3 to 5 euros on one of the variable resistors. And yeah, also the red button here is very light going, so I think there might be even a micro switch underneath here. It doesn't feel at all as clicky and hard as the cheap metal domes that you have in the CX40. This thing here, I think they definitely tacked this on with super glue or something. So My assumption is that probably this assembly here, I'm not sure if they had this custom made or if they just used something else, but it works well. It seems pretty good. They are light because there's probably not much in here except for the micro switch and the variable resistor or potentiometer. And yeah, you don't need anything else. The good thing is you can even plug in 4 of these controllers, so 2 here and 2 on the second joystick port, and play Warlord or Medieval Mayhem, which I actually got now on my Harmony cartridge. And that's supposed to be one of the best multiplayer games for the Atari VCS. So I would suggest we try out a few games and see how well these things work. The controllers are labeled player A and player B. So there are some games that use controller B and some that use controller A. And the two-player games or multiplayer games, of course, use all of the controllers. So let's have a look.
So navigating the Harmony menu is actually pretty easy with this. You just twist the dial up and down. You don't have the left-right for flipping through the different pages, but whenever you hit the top or bottom, it will swap to the next page. You have to be a bit careful because the scrolling over the pages is sometimes pretty fast. And of course, since this is an analog input, there's a bit of jitter, but I think the potentiometers here are pretty high quality, so I don't notice a lot of jittering at all. You can very accurately scroll and target stuff using this, so yeah, I think it works quite nice. So let's boot up the first game, and one of the classic games that has very high regard in the community is Kaboom from Activision. And you can't play it without a paddle, actually. And the idea here is that on the top there's like a criminal dropping bombs, and you have to catch them all. Yeah, and if you don't, I think 1 or 2 you can lose, but if it gets too many, they will explode and you lose 1 life. So one of your, whatever that is, I think there are maybe kiddie pools or something, there's a splash whenever you catch a bomb. And from the 3rd round onwards it gets crazy fast, as you can see. And with the joystick this would not be possible. And yeah, as you can see, I'm not very good at it. I already lost a life. But yeah, it's a nice game, and I'm happy that I can play it now. But I think it's very hard to master, actually. Next game is Super Breakout. There's also Breakout, but it looks a bit simpler. And I guess everybody knows Breakout or Arkanoid or one of the clones. You basically have a paddle at the bottom and a row of blocks at the top. And you get a ball to catch, basically, and reflect again upwards. And every time the ball hits one of the blocks, it destroys that block and gets reflected back. The Atari version here is pretty basic, so there are no power-ups like an Arkanoid. And it gets also crazy difficult as soon as you hit the 3rd or 4th row, because then the ball gets really fast. And yeah, I died there a lot and I didn't make it to the 1st level, but also a very nice game. Now we get to the game that everyone counts as the best multiplayer game of the Atari, and sometimes even as the best multiplayer game ever. Warlords. Basically you have 4 players in 4 corners of the screen. They have red castles, and you have to protect your castle with that thing that goes... I think it's a shield or something. That goes around your castle, and you control it via your paddle. You can catch the fireball, it's supposed to be a fireball, I think, going around. And there's actually a homebrew version that's even much better. Medieval Mayhem by Spiceware. And best thing is you can attach 4 pedals to your VCS and play with 4 people, and that's really a lot of fun. And that is the major reason why I got the pedals in the first place, to be able to play both Warlords and Medieval Mayhem. Because I think, I'm not even aware if there's another 4-player game on the Atari. Didn't find one yet, but I would be happy to be enlightened if there is something similar as well. So yeah, you should definitely check out this game. It's great, and I'll link to it in a video description because you can download the ROM for free. And again, you probably couldn't play this with a joystick because you need to have very fast reaction times. You have to be on the left side of the castle to the right side in a fraction of a second. I'm playing here against 3 computer players, AIs, and I'm losing basically. So the computer players are pretty perfect. Of course, they're not. They won't make it against a pro player, I guess. And after a while, a second fireball will appear that you have to play with, but you can only catch 1 at a time. And later there will appear a third one. So the gameplay gets more and more chaotic, and that's actually a lot of fun. And you see, I already died, so yeah, better play against some other noobs, not against the computer. Polar Storm is a space shooter from the same people that also made Atlantis. So they make a lot of nice shooter games. And I think even something like Galaga or Galaxian would actually work better with a paddle, because you can react much faster to the enemies and yeah, not only have like a constant speed with which you can steer your spaceship around. And yeah, this is a nice little game. I'm also dying a lot here. And I don't know all the rules, but I think you just have to blast everything that comes from the top. Atari's Circus is actually another Breakout style game, but with a twist. Instead of a pedal you have like this seesaw at the bottom and 2, like, what do you call them, artists in German? I don't know. Yeah, 2 guys jumping onto the seesaw, and you have to catch them on the right side, and if you don't catch them or they land on the wrong side, they splatter down in, yeah, a funny manner. And you have to hit the boxes at the top, the colorful boxes, so it's basically Breakout. And sometimes something like this happens, so it gets caught between the 2 lines, and you can remove a lot of the boxes. So it's a fun little game. I think it's pretty old, before the 1984 or 1983 crash, I think. Well worth checking out. Fireball is another Breakout clone, basically. So a lot of Breakout clones for the pedal games. And this time you have some juggler who has 1 ball, and there are more balls in the top, and you can free them, and you also have to clean out all the different blocks to advance the level. And yeah, the thing is, there's a fun death animation. When you lose 1 ball, you are dead. So other than Arkanoid, where you can lose a couple of balls, but you have to keep 1 ball, losing 1 ball here means you failed. And that makes it quite a bit more different and even more challenging. So here as well, I didn't pass the first level in a couple of minutes that I tried. And yeah, nice game. The last game that I want to show you is Astroblast. It is another space shooter, and it's quite fun. It's made by Mattel. The graphics are a bit clunky, and it's pretty old already, but it plays pretty well, and you can just blast away on these asteroids or whatever these things are. The bigger ones will split into smaller pieces, and you have to take care not to get hit by anything. It starts out with a generous 10 lives or such, And every 1000 points you will advance the level and it will get faster and different enemies will appear. Sometimes you see little white snowflakes, I don't know what they are, like this one on the left. Yeah, it's a very nice game. A bit simplistic, but just a short fun of blasting away stuff. And yeah, as I said, especially these shooters are actually pretty good with the paddles. I like it. So, that's about it. I've shown you these nice ProPaddle 2 paddles, and yeah, they are quite okay, I guess, especially for the price, because at least here in Europe, the original Atari paddles are much more expensive if you buy them used. New old stock is probably not even available anymore. And I haven't seen any other paddles on the market so far. You can probably build your own, because this is just a variable resistor and one button, so you can build whatever you like. And if you want to build like an arcade controller, then you might want to do that and buy some premium arcade parts for that. But for the time being, this is especially nice for the multiplayer games. I'll definitely buy another set for Warlord / Medieval Mayhem, and I think we'll have a lot of fun playing that game. Or it's nice for parties or when friends come over. Yeah, so definitely a recommendation from me. And yeah, let's see what other games, homebrew games, will come out this year. There are already some in the making. Most of them won't support the paddles though, but would be nice to have some more like space shooter games supporting these. Might be something to request for Galagon or Galaga, which is currently in the making. But they will probably stick with a joystick, I think. But one can ask on the forums, of course. That's it for today. Please do subscribe. We already are across the 340 subscriber mark. The next goal is the 1000 subscribers. And it's also very useful to leave a comment or give me a like or dislike. Everything that helps the channel, basically. And if you want to be notified about new videos, you can also hit the bell. I do that for very few channels because I don't want to get notifications for everything, but if you like my channel, please consider doing that. It would be greatly appreciated. So, have a nice time and see you next time.